Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Razor King of the Beta. It is the final day of group stages, and the final best of three is coming up right now. Idra versus the Little One in that group. Huck, despite putting up a great fight against his three opponents, did go 1-2 with all of them, and has been eliminated 0-3, and Tester displaying some real brilliance in all his games. 3-0 in that group, has already qualified for the Final Four, and just for a brief note, Tester is up against Into the Rainbow, because Into the Rainbow did get second in Group A, and Tester did get first. So, Idra versus the Little One, both these players are currently 1-1. Whoever wins this series will be second in Group B and will go ahead to face QXC in the semifinals. This is it. This is all on the line for Idra against the Little One, and we will be going into it after a brief thanks to our wonderful sponsor, Razor, for putting up the prize pool for this tournament, and as always, being a big supporter of the esports community. And for any of you interested in watching those Final Four casts of QXC versus the winner of Idra and the Little One, as well as Into the Rainbow against Tester, it will be best of fives broadcast live from the Day 9 Starcraft 2 countdown party at Harvey Mudd College. Go to www.hmc.edu for more information. Without any further ado, let us jump directly into Game 1 between the Little One and Idra. I probably don't need to introduce these two players, but I will because it is Caster's honor to do as such. Idra, the very well-known Terran Brood War player living in South Korea on the CJ Entus Pro team, has transitioned over to Starcraft 2 where, even though he originally played Protoss, has settled himself on the Zerg race, which currently has the least high representation on the competitive servers, so a slight underdog just by picking of his species. Despite that, Idra has shown amazing just might in his games. He's a very sturdy player, very mechanical, very big on repetition and just having well thought out solid gameplays backed by hours and hours and hours of practice, which is of course easy when you do it for a profession as he does. And the Little One, a player who many were not familiar with coming into the StarCraft 2 scene as the Terran in the bottom left in the pasty ghostly white. Little One was a Supreme Commander player who played a little bit of Brood War under the ID IPS radio, but the Little One demonstrating this absolute unparalleled creativity in all of his matchups is choosing Terran against Zerg. We've seen him choose mainly Terran and Zerg recently, still a very ample Zerg player. A very ample Protoss player, despite choosing largely Terran and Zerg, but nothing out of the ordinary, just building that depot behind his ramp. Idra, of course, not going to be very comfortable as the map is Steps of War. There's a lot of potential to do some obnoxious antics with Terran early on. We've seen QXC abuse that. We've seen Into the Rainbow abuse that. So already a little bit of danger coming up right now for Idra in this series. But either way, Idra looks like he's going ahead and building a very typical spawning pool on 14. It's very easy to defend from early rushes. In particular, the Reaper is a big threat, but here comes the drone to scout. Little One now building a barracks at his front. Little One doesn't look like he's going for his usual fast command center play, which he's a fan of, instead getting the refinery down. We've seen the Little One do a full variety of Terran strategies, from big medic marine play to mech against all different races, but it looks like has to be really careful not to lose that SCV. That can be a huge blunder early on, to just throw away a worker when they're so important at this early stage in the game. Looks like Little One is now making his first Marine. No add-on, and of course, given this placement, he can't really do it anytime soon. Expansion going down now for Idra. Look at this nice Overlord Scout. One to the left, one underneath. A lot of Zerg players are favoring that because it's way too easy to lose one to that first Marine. But either way, it looks like some more supply depot action going down. Command Center being morphed into orbital command. Still hasn't repaired that one SCV, but shouldn't be a big deal unless Idra can pull off some amazing control. But with this one Marine out, it's going to be a little bit too risky. Idra is going to run around as much as possible in the Little One's main to see if he can get a sense of what is coming out. And it looks like factory getting walled off there for the Little One. There's an extractor going down here at the side, so he is going to be doing a very ordinary opening, just getting that very normal stuff, with Idra in the top right and the Little One in the bottom left. There was a stream issue, had to pause it, reset now, no reason to delay any further. We are jumping right back into the action. Idra has already gotten his queen up, and this is a very smart play that Idra does very regularly, and on Steps of War it's so critical, getting that creep tumor out. If you cannot join these two bases together with creep, it becomes increasingly difficult to defend, and of course, because Steps of War is the map of choice for aggressive players, Idra especially needs to be careful to have a nice sturdy defense. And it looks like the little one going for a fast starport here. A little bit unorthodox, especially considering that the ground distances is the biggest concern for players on this map. But Vikings never going to be bad when your opponent Idra has pretty much only queens to defend. Idra now starting to get extra larvae at both bases, and if you look at the timing on the hatches, they are lined up almost identically for those larva spits. Idra having plenty of Zerglings to defend this side of the ramp, is also getting a spine crawler for a little bit of extra defense, and here comes the little one with his trademark Marine Hellion push against Zerg, one of the most obnoxious pushes to deal with, because look, getting there right before the spine crawler finishes, but the little one getting a little over-eager there. He needs to get into a better position where the spine crawler can hit, but no, the spine crawler isn't going to be able to do any damage, but the queen and the Zerglings were able to take everything out adequately. But look at this whole move. Oh, doesn't quite get the Hellion up onto the high ground. I was going to say that whole maneuver would have been a nice play to get that Hellion up to the high ground, but of course the angry fixed giraffe, that is the spine crawler, managed to throw down a headbutt just in time to take it out. And the double Viking action coming up in the Little One vs. Sen, some epic series from many tournaments like the Kaspersky Cup. We have seen Little One's use of Vikings against Zerg to be completely dominating in the later stages of the game, and now getting them early. Very interesting play, and also setting up Command Center to expand, and still more harassment by the Little One. We see 2 kills marked on that Hellion. He does not manage to get a third, and this queen just takes her 2 long arms and just slaps that Hellion around in the face till it falls over. Hatchery now being morphed into the lair. No second geyser anywhere. Idra spent a lot of money on that spine crawler early, spent a lot of money on these Zerglings early, and it looks like, oh, it's going to be in vain. These Zerglings, Idra, oh, uncharacteristic Idra move right there, losing focus on those lings when nothing else was going on around the map. Those Zerglings are instrumental early on for keeping tabs on your opponent, seeing what is coming out when, but these Vikings, of course, now that they are out, are going to be able to clean up these Overlord numbers of Idra. Looks like the Little One going directly towards Idra's Overlords in the main, not going to be going for these 2 hidden guys on the sides because he knows that those are free kills. Instead, just going to do the scoot and shoot move with the Vikings to take out these Overlords. The one queen does come up. Oh, Little One messing up the timing on his micromanagement, taking a few more hits than he should. Keep in mind that 2 Vikings can kill a queen, but the fact that these took a little bit too many hits means he does need to back off. Idra still only making drones. There's a second queen that has just popped out at the expansion to deal with any sort of banshees, and Hydra Den only going down now. Zergling speed finished as well. More Hellions coming up for the Little One. Wants to continue to harass as his Expo is up now. Rax finishing as well. Little One just maximizing the amount of harassment he can do. Once again, the winner of this game will be in the Final 4. The loser will be eliminated. Despite the fact that all these players are tip-top caliber, players do eventually have to be eliminated in tournaments, much to my dismay. I would prefer the third grade style where we all just hold hands, skip around, and say, well, we really are winners. But unfortunately, this is the real world where nerds must battle. So the Hellions are now pulling back. This is a great position for Idra, such a key area, holding control of this ramp. That's why players rush to get creep to this area, so the spine crawlers are more effective against harassment. Little One going to have to pull back, but very smartly Little One is repairing those Hellions, so that way he can continue to use them in later stages of the game, and more Vikings coming out for Little One. Doesn't look like these 2 free Overlord kills for Little One have been made use of yet. Again, the spine crawler also helping in taking out the destructible rocks, and Idra being very proactive about expanding this creep and still making drones. Looks like he is favoring getting that very fast carapace upgrade. And if we go to the unit counting station, Idra has had this Hydralis Den up for quite some time and has instead just favored more workers. We see that he is at 52 workers on 2 bases, a tremendous amount of workers, and Idra, oh no, the Little One's going to try to do some harassment, but of course, with this creep spread, it's going to be too difficult for the Little One to deal with the mobility of those Zerglings and the mobility of those Hydralisks. So we do see another hatch expansion going down for Idra. The Little One has plenty of Overlords. See you later, Overlord. And it looks like the Little One now planning on getting some tanks at this stage in the game. We do have 3 tech labs going up as well. It's going to be all Marauders. Very interesting mix. Players tend to favor Marines against Zerg because the Roaches have increasingly gone out of popularity. But if you have good Marauder control combined with those tanks, it's still a very potent combination. Vikings now doing good space control, because if you note Idra, though he's trying to get these Hydralisks in good position, it does manage to get these 2 free Hellions, doesn't have a lot of vision of this area. The only thing that's really having good vision is this one Overlord. And look at this Hellion managing to sneak its way all the way to the side, so the Little One is going to have some vision over here on the right. Yes, does see that. And here comes some more harassment from the Vikings. Does lose one to those Hydras that are so fast on creep. Makes them very, very difficult to deal with when you're trying to do this sort of Viking harass. but looks like the little one, no more Vikings being produced, just a medevac. And see, looks like these Vikings are forcing Idra to make more Hydralisks than he wants, so the tanks and Marauders are going to be able to clean that up nicely. Second refinery going down at the expansion. On the upgrade front, it looks like the little one is only just now getting close to finishing that +1, whereas Idra is almost done to the +1 armor himself, but also has this second evolution chamber. Ooh, interesting, starting to research melee attack.